Nebuchadnezzar II. It's a name, right? You hear it, and you think ancient Babylon. Maybe that whole destroying Jerusalem thing. But have you ever stopped to think how much more there is to him?
Right. He's often painted as, the bad guy in the Bible stories, but there's a lot more to unpack.
Way more. So today we're doing exactly that, a deep dive, trying to get past those one-sided historical portraits. And what better place to start than Wikipedia? Nebuchadnezzar II's page is, well, you know how Wikipedia gets. It's like a rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah, a total rabbit hole.
But it's perfect for separating facts from,
Yeah.
like, how time twists things.
Exactly. I mean, this is a guy who is dealing with shifting alliances, rivals everywhere, power struggles constantly. Not easy.
You picture these ancient rulers as almost like untouchable, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that got me was Nebuchadnezzar, he had a family, wife, kids, not just an emperor.
It's true. And when you understand the family stuff, it changes how you see his motivations, the problems he's up against. His dad, Nebuchadnezzar, right, founded the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Just think of the ambition to pull that off right when the Assyrians are collapsing. Huge moment.
Taking advantage of the power vacuum.
Exactly. And how do you secure a brand new empire? Strategic marriage for your son, of course.
Of course. It's like the oldest trick in the book, right?
The bedrock of power back then was dynastic marriage, for sure. And Nabopolassar picks a wife for Nebuchadnezzar who's not just well-connected, but potentially, this is big, she could be the link to an alliance with the Medes.
Okay, hold on. Stop right there, because now we're talking about the theory that his wife, possibly Ametis, though that's debated too, inspired the Hanging Gardens.
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
One of the seven wonders of the ancient world. Come on, you've got to admit, it's cool to think about.
Totally. I mean, whether or not the gardens really existed, like they say, the legend alone tells us something, right? Rulers going to huge lengths, maybe to smooth over alliances, maybe as a grand gesture of love. It makes you think.
So we've got the personal life, which is already interesting. But then there's the military side. This is what Nebuchadnezzar is known for. And his Wikipedia page goes deep on the Battle of Carchemish. 605 BC against the Egyptians.
Big one.
Huge.
Absolutely a defining moment in Near Eastern history. You've got this new Babylonian Empire going head-to-head with Egypt, who were still a major power at that point. And the way it played out, that victory, it sent shockwaves.
Yeah, this wasn't just a victory. It made him the strategist, cemented his reputation. One event, and suddenly the whole map of power is different.
Total domino effect. Assyrians down, Babylonians up, and Egypt. They got the message.
It's wild, though, because after Carchemish, after this win, Nebuchadnezzar tries to take Egypt himself, and it backfires badly. You have to wonder, what was he thinking?
That's the thing about power, isn't it? What makes you strong can also lead to the worst mistakes. And for him, that loss, it made him look weak.
And when you show weakness...
Oh, people notice. Rivals, anyone who wants what you have, they see an opening.
And that takes us to, I think, the event that really defines Nebuchadnezzar for most people, the destruction of Jerusalem, 587 BC.
Yeah, that one's huge. Still resonates today, doesn't it?
It does, but it's so easy to simplify it. So let's lay out the context here. This isn't some random act. Jerusalem, it'd been building for a while.
Absolutely. You've got rebellions happening, alliances changing all over, and King Zedekiah of Judah. He was straight up defying Babylon again and again.
Pushing his luck.
Big time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was definitely a message. Scorched earth, that's how the Wikipedia article puts it, which pretty intense.
That's an empire flexing right there. You make an example of one city.
Exactly. Everyone else takes notice. It was brutal, but that's how empires throughout history, they kept control. Fear, making it clear what happens if you disobey.
And it works, right? Because this is what Nebuchadnezzar is known for, the ruthlessness, especially in Jewish tradition. But it also shows how hard it was to keep an empire going back then.
Oh, for sure. Things were always changing. You had to be tough, make hard choices. And the destruction that sticks with people, it's a lasting image.
It makes you think, this power, it comes at a price, doesn't it? Both for the people in charge and the ones who get caught in the middle.
No doubt about that. Heavy stuff. But like you were saying before, Nebuchadnezzar, it wasn't all military campaigns. This guy, he wanted to leave a different kind of mark, too.
Yeah. So let's switch gears here. Wikipedia talks about these amazing buildings, the Ishtar Gate, that processional way. It's more than just ruling. It's about the legacy. You know? So paint us a picture here. What kind of city was he going for?
Okay, imagine this. You're coming into Babylon, right? And there's the Ishtar Gate. Huge walls covered in those bright blue bricks, glazed and decorated with all these mythical animals, Lions, bulls, dragons.
This isn't just decoration, it's a statement.
Oh, absolutely. These were symbols of the gods, power, divine right, the whole deal. And it wasn't just the gate. The processional way, this grand avenue, also covered in those blue bricks, went right through the city center. Temples, palaces, you name it, you saw it all on that road.
So every step is like reminding you who's in charge.
Exactly. The wealth, the power, how devout they were. Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon, it was meant to blow you away.
It's like he's trying to build a whole new image, right? Not just the conqueror, the destroyer, but Nebuchadnezzar, the guy who made Babylon what it was.
You got it. It's a classic move, honestly. You look through history, rulers have always used these big, impressive buildings to make their power seem, I don't know, more legit. It's not just about looking nice.
You said, look at me, I'm in charge, I can do this.
Right. Power, wealth, like the gods favor them. Pyramids, Colosseum, same playbook, different time.
It makes you wonder, though, what was going on in his head? Did he ever look around and think about what it took to get there? The fighting, the destruction.
It's the question, isn't it? We can look at what he did, read the inscriptions, all that. But inside his head, we'll never know for sure. But that's what makes history so interesting. It's like this puzzle you keep trying to solve.
And with Nebuchadnezzar, we've learned he was way more than just a tyrant, right? Yeah, a conqueror, no getting around that.
Right.
But a builder, family man, trying to handle being in charge with all that pressure in a world that was constantly changing.
For sure. He was a product of his time, you know? Same ambitions, same insecurities, all the things that drive leaders then and now. And his story reminds us, history isn't black and white, it's messy. Victories, screw-ups, ambition, doubt, you name it, it's all mixed in there.
Good reminder that these people we read about, they were real, with their own reasons for doing things. And usually it's those contradictions that make their story stick around.
Totally. That's what makes it interesting, right? Not just the dates and names, but the choices, the things that shaped the world back then.
So there you have it, our deep dive into Nebuchadnezzar II, a guy who definitely left his mark. He knew how to put on a show, how to build something that made people remember. He walked that line between ambition and going too far. And I think, if nothing else, it reminds us everyone's got a story. Even the big names in the history books. They're more complicated than we think.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. This was great. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.